Hello, thank you for tuning in. My name is Larry Duncan Allen. This is No More Water, Fire Next Time. Of course, again, I have another very interesting subject. It's about food stamps and welfare because that's what everyone's talking about now since they're talking about SNAP benefits being not coming out this month and maybe not even next month. To show you the cruelty of this administration, they're waiting to around Thanksgiving and Christmas holiday to take away people's SNAP benefits. And this is, and from what from many of the communications that many people have shown from months earlier, Trump don't intend on this being a temporary thing. They plan on just eliminating SNAP because they have even during the government shutdown, SNAP still usually came out for people. In the last government shutdown, they have a reserve fund of billions of dollars in reserve for SNAP in case something happens. People still will receive their funds, but they're purposely withholding the SNAP benefits just to be cruel. See, Trump never had to go to a grocery store. He had everything handed to him, and many of the people in his cabinet and running the government. They haven't had to go to a grocery store, count how much they put in the basket, see if they got enough. They've never had to do that. And they're worried about people who just need, some people work and get SNAP, they just don't make enough money. College students can get it. But, that's what they're doing. They just want to be cruel. And now we're finding out about food stamps is an entirely different matter now. See, if there was a thing that, it was all black people. Black people, welfare queens, and oh man, they painted the black women with a bad brush. Like the black women coming to the welfare office in a Cadillac and all that. Which everyone knew was a lie. Because even Reagan's people in his cabinet, when Ronald Reagan was saying that, when he was president, they were saying, Mr. President, that's just a stereotype. But now the stereotype is on the other foot. Black people are really not the one crying about food stamps now. It's the other people. What happened to all the hard-working white folks who told black people, pull yourself up by your own bootstraps? But then you know what I found out? Most of the white people getting food stamps are working, committing fraud, driving brand new BMW. There was a story about one white woman. She was angry because they'd say she was here. She's got 4 children, and when they get money, they don't get the small amount that black folks get. They get a lot of money. She had 4 children. They got $4,100 a month in just food stamps, and she got a 2025 BMW. Got angry because they said she had to sell the BMW. If she could afford a 2025 BMW, she shouldn't be getting food stamps at all. But yet, you see, the thing about the black welfare queen in the Cadillac, the white, which was a stereotype, a made-up myth, the white welfare queen in the 2025 BMW is not a myth. It's a fact. She's angry because she has to sell her car. And see, where they try to paint. See, anytime you want something, remember I told you about affirmative action and DEI? Anytime people want something to look bad, for people to speak against it, they put a black face on it. Affirmative action, DEI. White women benefit from that more than anyone. So and see what they're doing with these food stamps now? They're trying to cut them off thinking it's going to trigger black people. See, they can't do anything to black people really legally. So they're doing things to trigger us so we can get out there and tear up and police shooters with trigger ass at us. Now that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to trigger us. First they try to take away all the legal holidays and Bill of Rights and the Civil Rights Bill, taking black people out of Smithsonian Institute and out of textbooks. Thought that was going to trigger us. We don't care. We don't need you to tell us about Martin Luther King. We know ourselves. It's too late. There's too much out here on the internet. People don't have to worry about going to the Smithsonian to see things about black people. They can Google it. You're too late with that foolishness. We got the internet now. We have things on the internet. We can go look at those things on the internet. We don't need to go to the Smithsonian to see. Most of us would have never went there anyway. I never been there and doubt if I ever would have went. So we don't need your information to know about ourselves. It's too much out there now. Talking about the woke agenda because the white folks has started helping black people. But it's too late. It's too much out there. They don't have to learn about what black people been through in textbooks. It's never been in the textbooks anyway. I always felt I was very well informed. Do you know, I didn't know about slavery until I got to high school age. They didn't teach it in our homes. They didn't teach it in school. So people weren't learning about it anyway. But we have the internet now. We don't need you. We don't need a museum. But back to my subject. We're finding out now the true numbers are coming out. They've been rating black people higher as receiving food stamps and welfare, and black and white people lower. Now the numbers coming out, the white people is much more higher than that they've been showing, and black people is much lower. And the white people who were on there, some of them was middle class, upper middle class, people who didn't really need it. The black people needed it. You make things, put hardships on people, try to keep them from acquiring wealth, generational wealth, and having good jobs, and then want to make fun of them when they need some help. Any of these black women need some welfare, I say go get it. Get Section 8 food stamps, anything you can get. That's just a down payment on your reparations. And a small down payment, small down payment. And that as much as they owe you. Do whatever you can get. And with them, it's just not welfare queens. They got welfare kings. One white man was reported to have had 53 food stamp cards in his name. And they had a whole line of them that they was getting for fraud, for welfare fraud, and food stamp fraud. So they got welfare kings and queens. Now, if this story about him is true, now it was reported and I read it. I'm not trying to find out. Because when they said stuff about us, they put stereotypes about us that they know weren't true. If it's true or not, you go look it up for yourself, because I'm not going to sort through it. They don't sort through stuff on us. They just say it. But look, I'm going to show you, let me show you this. See, even white, see this, what they got against the woke program. Even some white people that woke up and tell the truth. I want you to watch this.
So I posted about white folks on food stamps, and one thing I kept seeing was that welfare was created for white people. I knew that it was created during the New Deal, so I did some more research because I didn't really know the whole story, and I thank you guys for responding and helping me learn stuff. So during the Great Depression is when we saw the beginning of things like Social Security, unemployment insurance. But here's the kicker. When Franklin Roosevelt built those programs, he had to make deals with Southern Democrats in Congress, the same folks who were big fans of Jim Crow, to get the support of these racist white Southern politicians The programs were designed to exclude farm workers, domestic workers, overwhelmingly by Black, Latino, and Indigenous people. So, right from the start, Black and brown families were pushed out of benefits so that white people could get them. Then we move forward to the 1960s, and there's this war on poverty. It finally opened up welfare programs more broadly, and that's when food stamps became permanent. Well, permanent, we don't know what Trump's going to do to them, but they lasted a long time. And guess what? The minute more Black and brown families started accessing this help, the politics shifted. Welfare got a new image and a new target. By the 1980s and 90s, with Ronald Reagan and his gang, they pushed the welfare queen myth. That's a racist dog whistle meant to turn public opinion against safety nets by blaming Black women for poverty that white policies created. That's the truth, you guys. So yes, welfare was built for white people, and when others finally got in the door, they tried to burn the house down. If you want to blame the right people, you got to get curious.
So you see that? They just made up so many lies about us. A lot of these statistics, you have to look up for yourself because many of them was lies, even the crime statistics. They find out that white men commit many more crimes than reported. See, some of them got angry because of things that's going on. They've been telling the truth. So I never did believe that garbage. You know, like you said, welfare wasn't created. Anything wasn't created for Black people to get. So anything in this nation that benefits people is made for white people. You know, everything that white people always had everything first, and Black people came in on it later. Only when they had to let us in. They didn't have a choice. And then they vilified it after Black people started getting it. Don't believe that brown people stuff. Them brown people were honorary whites. They mean Black people. They didn't put a brown face on it. They put a Black face on it. So they're bringing up all these brown people now. They weren't bringing them up before. They always talked about Black. They didn't say a brown woman was coming to the welfare office in a Cadillac. They didn't say a brown woman was the welfare queen. They was putting that on a Black woman. And don't get it mixed up. There's a difference between Black people and brown people. We're foundational people of this nation. We're not immigrants. Them brown people are. We're not immigrants, so stop lumping us with them. They didn't go through what we've been through. I'm not thinking about no brown people. My focus is on Black people. They got to do for themselves like we did. All through Jim Crow, we had nobody picketing for us. Hey, Stan, you shouldn't be doing it to those people. You wait till like police brutality. That's something you can go through. I never heard any brown people talking against the Ku Klux Klan, any of these other groups. I ain't hear no brown people talking about that. You hear any brown people talking about the 9 people that was unalive in the church? Ain't no brown people talking about that. More white people did than brown people. They've been more vitalized. So, you know, white people who are against what's going on have been more vitalized than brown people. They hate us. They treat the people in their nations trouble. Do you know that most of Cuba is Black? But do you see the Black Cubans here? I'm going to get back to my subject. I just have to make this point. You don't see the Black Cubans here. You see those who look just about white. In India, there's Black people. They treat them like trash over there. Down in Brazil has the largest number of Black people outside of Africa. They're treated like trash down there. In Mexico, the Black people are treated like trash there. They have a certain section they have to live in. I know some Black Mexicans. I knew them in California. They hated us. The Black Mexicans hated us because they identify with their nationality and ethnic groups. They didn't identify with us. They're Africans. They hate us too. Black people are hated in this nation. I know some of them are hated in their country, But black people, the foundational black people from here from the United States, we're the most hated people in the world. Well, even other black people hate us. Yet we've done nothing to no one. We haven't harmed anyone. As a people, as I said before in another broadcast, as a people, we're the most kindest, compassionate people on earth. As a people. Well, we can do some diabolical things on the personal level. We're not very good at that. But as a people, we're some very good people. Now, we do some mess up things on the personal level. But the other folks, as a people, they're real nice. Just as kind as they can be. But as a people, they're diabolical. So back to the thing with welfare. Do you know, I've seen more white men crying about food stamps than women. You don't see black men around crying about food stamps. Because he don't get them. He let the women get it for her and the children. He get in on the eating, though, I'm sure of that. But I know there are some single men who may get food stamps, but he's not getting the amount you just see the amount these white people get. It was one woman I saw get $4,900 in food stamps with 5 children. And then there was one woman getting 10,000. Well, let me find it. I got that video. That's 6 figures. 6 figures in food stamps. I'm not playing. I can show. I got the videos. I'm gonna let you see them. And they're saying it themselves. If they're telling the truth, that's for them to sort out. Because I don't try to sort out low class things about other folks. Because they don't try to sort us out. They just say the blacks are doing this, or a black person did this or that. They don't care if it's a bot or it's a lie. Somebody put up or anything. They just put out what they're gonna put out about us, and they don't sort through it. They don't say some, not all. They don't say, well, you never. I hear black people talking, well, I'm not talking about all, there are some good white people, but they just got to let it be known themselves. Cause when they talk about black people, they don't say, well, there's some good black people. You never hear them say that. They just state their case and let that be it. And that's what I do. I'm not sorting between anybody. That's not my job. All I do is say what happened. And anybody want to do some sorting, they can do that on their own. Even these videos, if these people lying, they just lying. But I'm going to post they lie. And you just got to find if it's a lie or not. But I don't believe it's a lie. Because anything we get, white people always have gotten more. Listen to this. I'm going to play this one for you. Listen to this.
So just because I don't want to work 20 hours a week, which is crazy. Can you imagine having to work 20 hours a week? So I don't want to work. You take all of my benefits away. The benefits that you have allowed me to use for 13 years with no warning at all. The government has enabled this behavior for 13 years to where I have not had to work a day in my life. 13 years of almost $10,000 a month in government aid. And now, because you signed some stupid bill that says I have to work if I want to get food stamps, and because I don't want to, you take it all away, no warning. How am I supposed to feed my 6 kids? How am I supposed to support my 6 kids? How am I supposed to pay rent? How am I supposed to get my nails done? How am I supposed to go drive down to the corner store when I have no money for gas? And you want me to go get a job, but you don't want to give me gas money? This is how the real world works? At 35 years old, now you decide you want to take it away?
Turn my mic back on. Now, if that's true or not, I don't care. All I know is she put it out there. Because when they see, do you know a lot of these fight videos of black people be put out by bots, don't even originate in this nation. Be put out there put up by trolls. Well, that was some of us. We put some of them up, but nobody researched to find that out. I'm not researching their lowdown stuff to find out if it's true or not. Shouldn't have put it out there. And they don't research us. They just believe what they see and hear. So that's what I'm going to do with them. They're no better than us. And they believe what they want to about us. Well, we believe what we want to. It may be true. May not be true. But she put it out there. And that's what I'm going by. People don't check up behind us. Oh, I think they're lying on them black folks. Let me check that out. We don't do it. Yeah, but they've been beating the system for quite a while. But yet, all the blame came on us. I mean, back during the time of Ronald Reagan and all, they vilified black women. They hate black women. They don't want to work. All they want to do is lay on welfare, get Section 8 and food stamp. When they know good and well you had black women working right at your company, working with you on your job. But see what it is. White people judge by the best of them. Black people judge by the worst of us. I had one white guy, there's two brothers supposed to be friends of mine. But it even comes out in them. Back during George Floyd, and they said they need to hire more black policemen. You know what they had to say? Or are they qualified? So what the hell are you talking about? So how does a black policeman get hired? They go through the academy, right? The black and white ones. Or they hired from another department that they've already been working at after they went to the academy, and they get hired from another department, right? I said, the black ones hired the same way, right? Right? They said, yeah. I said, then why come the white one is qualified and the black one's not? Why come the white one's qualification is not called into questions? Let's look at qualifications. Who do you see got people out down on the ground with their knee all on their neck and head killing them? I mean, unaliving them. Scratch that. I need to quit saying that. Unaliving them. Shooting them, talking about I thought they had a gun. Violating their rights. You very, very seldom see a black cop doing that. So evidently, the white ones must not be qualified. They're the ones always doing those things. And not the black ones. Then they said, when they was over there, they said, they go in there in the store stealing, doing a protest. When the protesters stealing, it was other people. So they haven't been a violent protest by black people. And some other people came and did some stuff. The protesters didn't leave the line and go breaking stores and all that. But what happened was, he said, you know what they had to say? Yeah, they said they were stealing everything except work boots. I said, what you trying to say? Black folks do what? I said, you around black people more than you around white folks. Don't they work? They say, yeah. Well, why would you say that? Like as though black people don't work. But they have this stuff ingrained in them. Just like with the farms. You know they actually believed that the Mexicans and the Latinos was taking black people farm jobs. Like if they were gone, we're going to go out there and work on the farms. They actually believed that. Like, because we didn't have jobs. Even though they're just going to work, working with us every day, but yet we don't have jobs. And then you know what they did? They say we're lazy. Why come white folks not getting out there working on those farms? Why come they're not asking for them? They know white folks too lazy. That's why they had to bring slaves here. They're too lazy. Had to bring the Chinese to do the railroad. The slaves had to do the building of the White House and plantation. When have they done some hard work? Even now, black people do the lower end jobs. Black people and immigrants do the lower end jobs and do the tech jobs. White people are not developing all these technologies that you see. They of being this. People come from other parts of the world, go to school here and stay here. And Trump just sent a lot of them away. He sent a lot of the scientists away. I remember when Trump mentioned 10 inventions. He mentioned 10 inventions, but you know what he didn't realize? All 10 of those inventions was made by a black person. He didn't even know that. No one even called it out. All 10 were black inventions. Black people invent a lot. Black people saved Chrysler, saved Ford Mustang. Chrysler was in bankruptcy. I'm going to get back to my subject after this, what I'm thinking about it. Chrysler went in bankruptcy. Was about to go in bankruptcy again. I noticed that Lee Coker, the chairman of Chrysler, had Snoop Dogg on a commercial with him when Snoop Dogg was known for drugs. And usually they try to get a clean cut person. Remember when the Chrysler 300 got real popular with that new design around 2004, 2005, and they said mimic a Bentley? That was designed by a black man. The Dodge, Charger, Hellcat, all that. Designed by black men. They brought in black designers to save Chrysler. Remember when the Ford Mustang around that same time, when they get that new design, around 2004, 2005, it was designed by a black woman. Did you know that? A black woman designed that Ford Mustang. A black woman helped develop the heating system that you got in your car. Black people have done all type of inventions. But they don't talk about it. They don't want that to be known. It's too woke. But getting back to my subject, the food stamps, the amount of money, the amount of food stamps white people was getting, they got more than most people make on their jobs. You know, the amount, and that's not including the cash benefits they may have been getting. So many of those white people you saw around driving nice cars up in the store looking down on you, they were living off the government. Like I said, if you get over close to $10,000, over $10,000 in food stamps, that's 6 figures. And that's not counting the cash benefits. More than likely, she was getting Section 8. And you know, the reason I believe it because I've heard even more. She's just one of them. Some got 4 kids getting $4,100 a month. If you get $10,000 in food stamps, more like she kept a couple thousand and sold the other 8,000. You know she didn't buy that much food. She didn't buy no over $10,000 worth of food a month. And then there's a black woman, they wanted to send her to jail, talking about, you know what she did? She was having a bake sale. And they said she used some of the ingredients that she bought off food stamps. And these people can do all this fraud and all, but they want to try to throw this black woman in jail over something like that. How petty can you get? Who was following her around to find out what she was doing? That she used some ingredients off of food stamps to bake some stuff that she sold. I mean, you really that petty? But yet you got a man with 34 felonies sitting up in the White House. And he haven't went nowhere and not going nowhere. He's not going to jail. Hopefully those diseases catch up with him. No, I'm not going to say it. Because then, I take that back. I'm just, what happened happens. But look, but let me show you this one from this white man. Now, he want to complain about he can't work because he got to stay home and watch his kids. You ever heard a black man say some mess like that? Man, they do some crazy stuff. They talk about us, but if you just see the crazy stuff they do, you wouldn't believe it.
Trump
Listen to
has
this.
cut my food stamps from $2,800 down to $350. Now, what am I supposed to do? Huh? So I literally just got this piece of mail today saying that due to new policy changes from the Trump administration, all this shit, whatever, that all these cuts and whatever he's doing over there, now they're telling me I have to go work. Now I have to go do all this. Well, I literally got 5 kids. Okay, I'm trying to sit here and spend time with them. I'm not trying to go work, 50, 60 hours a week so I can pay bills. I just really don't understand. I voted for him this last election because I thought what he had good was going on, but now all of a sudden, all this policy stuff's coming out, and now he's making all these cuts, and now he doesn't want to help the less fortunate people no more. I'm done with that guy. I'm not. If he gets voted in again, I'm leaving this country. Because I'm not dealing with this no more.
Okay. And can you believe he actually said all of that with a straight face? He's done with Trump because he have to go to work. He can't stay home and be with his kids. And see one thing about black people, we presented that rosy, all-American, good picture of white folks. Tell the truth, you all never thought you'd hear a white man talking like that, did you? You wouldn't hear a black man saying no crap like that. Y'all thought he was all these old strips, standing good guys, and the black men vilified the black men, and we find out different. He's angry with Trump. See, they vote for Trump thinking he's gonna hurt other people, and they're not sorry for nothing. They're sorry that they got hurt. Even the brown folks, they're just sorry because they got hurt. They want to see other people hurt. I told you before the other night, the Cubans, the Mexicans, the Haitians, and the Africans, they said they voted for Trump because they thought black people, we were the thugs and gangsters that they was talking about getting rid of. So do I feel sorry for them? No. Because everyone I know who voted for Trump, there's someone else that they were trying to hurt. But then it got them. That's the only thing they're sorry about. I had some people tell me, say, I'm not worried about Trump. I don't even talk about that mess. I don't think about him all the time, day to day, but I talk about him on here, but you don't have to worry about him. But these things affect us. I don't care what your religion is and all that, it affects you. You're not exempt from this world. If ICE come in the neighborhood and you there, they fire tear gas, do you think the tear gas is going to skip over you? Because you're a Christian or you're a Jew or you're a Muslim, whatever you are, it's going to get you too. So we do have to know what's going on in this world because it affects us while we're living here. You're not going up yonder yet. So you got to deal with what's here while we're here. Just like some people have said that to me, God gonna protect me, yeah, protect you, but you still subject. You can't put yourself in harm's way though, and you got to use some sense and know what's going on. You have to know what's going on around you and what's going on in this world. Because if you get food stamps, the Christians' food stamps gonna get cut off too, just like anyone else's. Then you be telling me what happened. Well, you gotta pay attention to what's going on. They've been talking about it. I don't know how long. So yeah, I talk about Trump. I talk about a lot of things in here. Sometimes I change the subject, talk about other things. But right now, we got some serious things going on with our government and our well-being. We just can't bury our head in the sand like an ostrich and act like as though it's not happening. And when I pull my head up, everything's going to be all right. That's not going to happen. Now, I don't talk about this stuff in my day-to-day because some people come to me. I told you the other night, I see them on the street when talk about this stuff. Hey, look, I don't eat, sleep, and drink this. I talk about this because this is part of what I do. But you don't take your job to and talk about it all day long with folks, do you? I'm a broadcaster. I broadcast. And I don't talk about anything I broadcast when I go home or be around friends, out in the stores. I don't want to talk about this stuff unless it's something we have to talk about. That's different, but not just bringing it up just to be discussing. Because you know I discuss this on the air. You want to discuss it with me here, you can text. I haven't set a phone line, but no, I'm not going to just meet people out on the street, talk about this all day long. Because I don't think about it once I leave here. I research things I'm going to talk about. Anything I say, I research. And when it comes to these things, I'm not researching no TikTok video. I'm going to put up what they say because that's what they do to us. People, when things are put up about black people, folks, even black people, folks, just believe it. They don't research it. And I'm not going to do it with these other folks. They shouldn't have put it out there. They're the ones who put it out there. But these people feel like, back to my subject, these people feel like they're entitled to food stamps. They're entitled to benefits. But see, when they were getting it, it was called entitlement. It wasn't called welfare until black people started getting it. Just like when when black people was using drugs, when drugs was, well, I can't say black people using drugs, when it was made out to look like a black thing, they were junkies, dope heads, drug addicts, dope fiends. When privileged white folks start getting heavily on drugs, they're a substance abuser. It's an epidemic now. They're substance abuser. They're sick. All type of nice little names. Like I say, anytime you want to vilify something, put a black stamp on it. Not a brown stamp. Black stamp. Now, we was equal to them. Why come they never put a brown face on something? They're only doing this to them because what they want to do to us. That's why they're trying to trigger us, make us get out in the streets and clown. We're doing right, just what we're doing. I know there's a lot of people coming on, very popular people come on every night. Tomorrow we need to get out there and protest and do this and that. If that's what you want to do, fine, that's your conviction. But I don't recommend it. And there's some pretty well-known people, but I don't care who they are. Just they gave their opinion of it, I'll give mine. They gave their suggestion, I'll give mine. I suggest you don't. Because when you end up down there in Alligator or Alcatraz, getting bit on the butt by an alligator, don't come crying and calling. Because you've been told. They want you to get out there. See, the reason they sent ICE up into Chicago, I know there's some Venezuelan up in the black neighborhood. You all should have never allowed them in there. Let them go to the white neighborhoods or the Puerto Rican neighborhoods, the Hispanic kinfolk cousins. You let them up in there, they running wires out down the hallway, wait to each other, getting electric. You giving them shoes and clothes because they didn't have none. Let their people do it. Let the Puerto Ricans do it. That's their cousins. And now you got the ICE running up in your building because they're up in there. They want to come into the black neighborhoods to spark you. See, black people wasn't getting out there protesting. So since you didn't bring it to them, they want to bring it to you. But be cool. Now this Portland, Oregon, I like to see what happens there if they go in there. Because Portland is a city of 655,000. Only 5% black, 10% others, and 85% white. So MAGA folks, white folks, you're not exempt from this. See, this reconstruction is including you also. All the other reconstructions were just black people. This reconstruction is including white folks also. So that's why I say it's not going to work. See, the other reconstruction was, excuse me, was dependent on white people being complicit. But it's hitting them now. How can they be complicit when it's hitting them also? That's the big mistake Trump and his people are making. I mean, you see on those videos how they dragging white women in the street, beating them, kicking them. White men, how they beating them and kicking them. Hispanic, everybody. You see everybody with black people out there being stomped on. And we need to keep it that way. Especially black women. If they get to kicking and stumping on a black woman, I don't know. I don't care if she's a crackhead or a prostitute. Or a church mother. It doesn't make any difference. Because they're not just attacking the woman, they're attacking our race. And we don't need to be letting it go on. Or a black man, they don't have no business doing that to him. Y'all sit around with your camera, just don't do that. I think that one time they'll trigger me. And some cities are calling on their police officers to arrest ICE agents if they break the law. Oh, he don't have the jurisdiction to arrest a federal officer. You're not going by the law. You're not going by the rules. So that's the problem with the Democrats. They're trying to play so fair. You play fair when the game is being played fair. If another person start breaking the rules of the game, you can't continue to play fair. I remember when we used to have a basketball team. We taught our kids how to play by the rules. Well, sometimes you go to a game, the referee kind of let them, let them go and let them kind of do a lot of things they shouldn't be doing and get away with it. And we would tell the referee, say, look, we teach our children to play by the rules. If you're going to let them play any kind of way, that put our kids at a disadvantage. They was up there playing those Catholic schools, and these boys we had was from the city. And at one game, it was two white guys and me, and I told them, look, if you're not going to let them play any kind of way now, these boys, they from the streets of East St. Louis. If you actually want me to cut them loose up in here, they straighten that up. Them boys used to play that street ball. They can play it either way. And believe me, and once them boys start playing that street ball, theirs would have been at a disadvantage. And they did for a while. We got so far ahead, just to let them play right. Then we had to put the second string in, kind of let them catch up. Then when they get up a little bit, we put our boys back out there, driving up again. Because you have to do that because we were independent. We're not in a league. If you beat people too bad, they won't invite you back anymore. You wouldn't be able to schedule any games. To give an example, East St. Louis football. I know I'm all over, but people here know what I'm talking about. East St. Louis football. Do you think a lot of these teams who play East Side every year and get hammered would have to play them if they didn't have to in the Southwestern Conference? If East St. Louis wasn't in the Southwestern Conference, it would be hard for them to schedule games. That's what I'm talking about. You have to. We had to let them give them a little mercy. I know East Side don't, but we did. But look back to what I was talking about. These white people feel like they're entitled to this stuff, though. Black people were a little more humble with it. These people are not humble at all. They talking like you owe us this. I'm gonna play one more for you. I'm gonna play you this. Watch it. They even had a rally. Watch this.
White folks are waking up this morning to the news that their food stamps did not arrive and that Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving dinner would not be covered by the U.S. government. They thought that he was talking about them whenever he was talking about cutting food stamps. But they wake up this morning and find out that they are very much a part of the whim. They're them. They thought they were entitled. Donald Trump doesn't work that way. He work on the half and the half and the.
We are coming to you live tonight as anger builds across the country. Millions of Americans are finding out their food stamp benefits for November have been canceled. The abrupt move.
Now, that was actually on a news program. I was like, how do you know that's true? How do you know it's not? You don't say that when they talk about black folks, if it's true or not. You just believe what you see. That's what I'm doing. They vilified black women for decades. Oh, she probably just on welfare. Oh, won't she go get a job? Do you know that many people who are getting food stamps and benefits were actually working? They just weren't making enough money. Now, white people are admitting how they have to work so hard just to stay poor. That's what they find out now. They're finding out what's going on in other nations, but those people don't have to work so hard. Those people make money. They live pretty good. They don't have to spend all their money on rent and work their fingers to the bone and get 2-3 jobs and still can't barely just to pay bills. Used to be a time a person got a second job because maybe they wanted to take an exotic vacation somewhere. We'll work that second job temporarily to save up vacation money. I know a lot of people used to do that. Even though they got vacation on their job, they wanted extra money for vacation time. So them and their family can go and enjoy themselves. Now they have to work extra jobs to pay bills. Not just temporarily, but permanent. And these white people are suffering, but they tried to make it seem like it wasn't that way. You know that now, here's another subject what I'm thinking about. Donald Trump talking about he want to restart separate drinking fountains. I don't care myself. I hope he do it with the bathroom too. I'm tired of them white guys walking out the bathroom not washing their hands. And some of you brothers starting to do the same thing, watching them so much. And I heard from the sisters and the women do the same thing. Those white women do the same thing. So start it up if you want to. It's not going to work. Not in this day and age. It's not. See, he have to realize this is not the turn of the century. That reconstruct, that stuff worked. That Jim Crow stuff worked, and it won't work now. It won't work now. It's not. See, it was a whole nation of white people who went along with it. A whole nation of white people is not going to go along with that now. They're not going to go along with it. He's living in the past. What man in his right mind want to take his nation back to the past when everyone else, China, and everyone else looking forward to the future? He's trying to go back to the past. And you know what? You don't see very many black people crying about food stamps. You know why? They're going to make do. We always have and always will. But see this Project 2025, as I said last night, it's hurting them more than us. I'm going to put my PayPal and my Cash out, but may not do any good, but that's where you do it in 2020. Some people criticize, you're internet panhandling, you're putting up that. Yeah, you can put this stuff up. Someone texted me and told me that. And I've been hearing that a lot around lately. That's where you do it in 2025. How else you going to raise funds to keep your stuff going? That's the way you do it. This is not the 20th century. I see top name people. Shannon Sharp, all of them putting up Cash App and PayPal. Nobody see anything about them. The white podcast is putting it up. Someone text me. I had about 3 people text me and say that. But don't worry about how I raise money. Worry about how you raise money. This is not all I do. I got a cable channel. I'm getting a Roku channel. Got the only cable channel, privately owned cable channel is here. It used to be the city's. It's mine now. I broadcast on YouTube, Facebook. I'm not no broke person. So cause you see my Cash App, that's business. It's not big, and that's business. You see all these top name people with their Cash App, Rolling One, Don Lemon. No one says anything. I'll put it whatever I want to put up. Give, you don't, you don't. Most of you too lazy to even just push the like button or subscribe. So I know you're not going to send in any money. What I do here is my business. You like it or not like it, all I can do is just be on here for the people who want to hear me and not for those who don't. But I appreciate my people who watch. I appreciate you much. I'm talking to those who come. You have some people, so you have some people who come on the internet just to criticize and say mean things. That's all they do. They see some people praise dancing at church. Got something mean to say about that. You ain't got nothing to do with them people, how them people praise. They think it's like you in a trance or something. Praise dancing is just that. Some people may be in a spiritual thing. But you have some who just praise. It's just like clapping your hand or raising your hand. They're just giving God praise through a dance. I mean, they used to dance for the harvest. Dance when the rains came. They used to do dance to the moon. Well, people can't dance to their God. Mind your own business. Oh, I'm getting off subject. Let me get back. I do that sometimes though. But look, as you can see, it's not just us. Yep. That way I had up on my caption. It's not just us. The truth about food stamps and welfare. Oh man, they vilified black people for decades. But mostly black women. They saw welfare as a black woman's thing. The reason they didn't do the man because they told the women she had to put the man out. But the white women didn't have to do that. If you notice, you see more white men crying about food stamps lately than the white women did. They crying about food stamps more than the white men. I mean, more than the white women. You don't see black men all over the internet crying about food stamps. Now, I did see one black woman, I don't know, they need to stop putting up this crazy stuff about running up in stores and going to take what she wants. Yeah, you're going to be running up in that jailhouse too. And they're going to put you where they want. You didn't had hard times before without having to go stealing. I mean, they haven't even started yet and you talking about stealing. Well, I hate to see day 14 or day 30 and you talking about stealing and you don't even know if you're going to get them or not. You got to wait and see. Because Trump is a big bluffer. When his bluff is called, he gives in. That's why they call him Taco Man. He's always caving when people push back. He only win when people don't push back. Yeah, but this thing with the food stamps, black folks, you get through this like we got through everything else. You find a way. Not gonna starve. They got pantries, and I know. Well, there are a lot of health foods at those pantries. Type of food that people don't want to eat. Healthy foods. And but I hope everybody make it okay. And do you know that they said that for every dollar of food stamps that's spent, it puts $1.50 back into the economy? See, you can't run a country, a nation, an economy like it's a business. A business is for profit. A government provide goods and services, and those goods and services usually funnel money back into the economy. But Trump is too stupid to know that. That's why he bankrupts everything. Like they said, who bankrupts a casino? The house always wins. But he did. The food stamps, it went back. They used it to buy food. It helped the agricultural industry. All of that stuff, it's like a revolving circle. Everything's helping each other. He doesn't realize he's ruining all of that. When they started food stamps, they just didn't do it not knowing, thinking that it's not going to help the economy any. Most of these government programs helps the economy. It takes in more than it puts out. But this regime don't understand that. The food stamp program puts back more into the economy than it takes out. Most programs does. Now the truckers, they don't have anything to haul. Nothing's going to be coming into the warehouses. So he's ruining this economy, and he's doing it on purpose. And many people going right along with it. Supposedly educated, well-minded people going right along with it. If they think they can get $1 out of it. But a lot of these people finding out, though. Yeah, we're finding out a lot of stuff. Y'all not as rich as y'all pretended to be, are you? You thought white rich, black poor. Y'all not as rich as y'all pretending to be. You was living off welfare. Even you who had good jobs. Y'all can't make it without some type of subsidy. The black farmers make it without subsidy. You working and you getting all those subsidies from the government, hiding it like as though only black people was getting it. Every corporation you run have to get government subsidies. But the black companies don't. Everything you've done, you got some type of subsidy or government welfare. You haven't done any hard work. You just supervised other people's hard work and administrated other people's hard work. You ran this economy in the ground, $37 trillion in debt. You fumbled this nation out of this world deficit. Instead of building our infrastructure, you spend all the money on wars. Wars that you never achieved your objective on. You went over and killed a lot of people. You went into Korea. That's still not even over. It's just an armistice. That's why you got that demilitarized zone over there. You went to Vietnam. You pulled out of there and didn't achieve your objective. Just killed a lot of people. And still went to the Viet Congs and to the communists. And now you did all that fighting against communism. Now we're about to have a communist. If not communist, a fascist government. We're not going to have democracy soon. Well, we don't have it now. But yet you try to ram it down everybody else's throat. See how silly you're looking? You spent money, you went into, what other was Grenada? Well, you wouldn't beat up on little, United States usually beat up on little countries. You know, don't have a chance against it. That's usually the case. They beat up on it. Now they're trying to start a war with Venezuela. Country, you know, you can go down there and beat up on with no repercussions. Every nation you went into Afghanistan to change regimes, to get the Taliban out. You was there for 20 years. Who's in control of Afghanistan right now? The Taliban. You went into Iraq. Just ruined that nation. They barely got any rule of law over there now. You went into Libya. Destabilized that nation. Everywhere you go in, you kill a bunch of people, but you don't achieve your objective. Shoot, using a $100,000 bomb just to shoot up a little boat, a fishing boat, down in Venezuela. $100,000 bomb. Got planes flying all around, burning all that fuel, all that taxpayer money, just to shoot a fishing boat. Who's to know if those are drug runners or not? You blew them to bits. Could have been someone out on vacation for all we know. But back to my subject about food stamps. As you saw in the videos I played, you got white men. I wanted to say something, I'm not going to say that. You got white men on here bickering about food stamps. You don't see black men doing that. I can see why them white folks are, who gets over $10,000 worth of food stamps a month? What black person do you know get that much? You said for 6 children? That's 6 figures. She's getting 6 figures just in food stamps, not including the cash benefits in Section 8. That's why she was saying she's never worked in 10 years. Just think, she was getting that 10 years, she's gotten over $1 million. Well over $1 million. Just in food stamps alone. No, she said 13 years. She's been getting it for 13 years. $10,900 in food stamps a month? And that's just the stamps. The white guy, what he said he was getting, was it $4,100 or something like that? Now he's angry because it's being cut down to $300. You don't hear black people getting that amount that I know of. So who's real welfare queens and kings? They use the black woman just say welfare queen. But see, the white men getting it themselves. The black woman wasn't getting that much money. Oh, she came in a Cadillac. You didn't see her come in a Cadillac. She did. Probably from her people dropping her off. Believe me, most black women don't want to be on welfare. And they usually don't be on it that long. I know some that maybe it's always going to be some. Most black women don't be on welfare all of their lives. Like you all try to make it be. It's not that way. They get on there and most of them end up doing better. Tell me this, would you want to be on welfare all of your life? What makes you think black women want to be on there all of their life? They need a little help, they get it. They're supposed to. You don't worry about what they was doing when you had them out there in the fields picking cotton and breastfeeding your children and out there doing all that domestic work for you and you barely paying them. You wouldn't worry about what black women was doing then. But as soon as it's something you think that's going to benefit them, you want to cry about that. You worry about what your women doing, how your women beating the system, instead of worrying about ours. I say, black women, get whatever you can. They won't give you your reparations, get a little something. If anybody's entitled to it, it was the black women, not you. $10,900 just in food stamps alone. I can see why she said she never had to work. She getting six. You know she didn't. You know she wasn't buying that much food. Probably keep some and sell the rest. And she wasn't buying that much food. Well, she was making her a good haul off the government. I told you I saw this one thing when they were talking about all those white people getting welfare fraud. This one white man had 53 link cards in his name. 53 food stamp cards. I don't know what they call it where he was at. They have called a different name in different areas. 53 cards. Now, how do you get 53 cards when most people can't get one? And a man, too? So they got the queens and the kings. They lied on black women, calling them welfare queens. Wasn't doing nothing but lying on them. They found one woman who had made a big fraud out of welfare and just labeled all black women that way. But the truth is, they've had these white people, man, men and women, lots of them. And it's not just on no TikTok and Facebook. They've had them on the news. Stealing that kind of money. And act like they're entitled to it. And like they're going to tear something up if they don't get their food stamps. And this thing about this black woman, this old big black woman they had on talking about running up in the stores, stealing, that looked like AI to me. I know I'm in the business of videos and pictures and broadcasting. I know AI when I see it. And one way you can really tell, and that an amateur can tell, listen to the audio. It has this little hollow sound to it. And I know it when I see it. And that thing with that big black woman talking about running up in the store stealing, that's AI. I mean, because the food stamps haven't even been cut off yet. I mean, the first is not even here yet. So why would she be running up in the stores? But they do that to us. They put out that AI stuff, those bots. A lot of those fight videos don't be real. Some of them not even made here in this country. But we put up some of them too. Black folks put up a lot of these fight videos. You need to cut that out. We need to stop destroying our ethnic image. It's already bad enough as it is. But that was a lie they put about that black woman. But it's true what they said about them white folks. But these black women, I hope they get all the food stamps and all the money they can get. You owe them. Because you promised them some reparations. And if they can get it that way, I say get it. That's not even scratching the surface on what you owe them. I know black men owe reparations too, but it's just that when they talk about welfare with black people, they mostly talk about black women. That's what I'm talking about, the women. And the stuff they said about the black women weren't true. But what they said about these white women is true. Let me play this again. I got some of you who may didn't see this. About this white woman getting, what she said? I think she said 10,900. I know she's getting six figures a year in food stamps. It was over $10,000 in food stamps. Now I wish I can get that. Keep 500. I better shut up. Might come get me. Oh, let me show you this real quick.
So just because I don't want to work 20 hours a week, which is crazy. Can you imagine having to work 20 hours a week? So I don't want to work. You take all of my benefits away. The benefits that you have allowed me to use for 13 years with no warning at all. The government has enabled this behavior for 13 years to where I have not had to work a day in my life. 13 years of almost $10,000 a month in government aid. And now, because you signed some stupid bill that says I have to work if I want to get food stamps, and because I don't want to, you take it all away, no warning. How am I supposed to feed my 6 kids? How am I supposed to support my 6 kids? How am I supposed to pay rent? How am I supposed to get my nails done? How am I supposed to go drive down to the corner store when I have no money for gas? And you want me to go get a job, but you don't want to give me gas money. This is how the real world works? At 35 years old, now you decide you want to take it away?
And you know the worst part about it? Let me think I'm gonna feed back here. The worst part about that is she said it with a straight face. She actually believed that stuff she said. So, well, how you said before you say, how you know that's true? I'm not trying to find out. Because see, when they say stuff against black women, they don't check to find out if it's true or not. All those stereotypes they put out there about black women, oh, I believe they lying. Let me tell you, no, them white folks didn't do that. And I believe, and she's not the only one. I heard from her, it's coming from a lot of white people. Like I said, they talked about the black welfare queens, which was a lie. But these white welfare queens are for real. And not only, they even got welfare kings. You got men. Let me play this again about this man. He said he can't go get no job. He got to stay at home so he can see his kids grow up and keep collecting. I think he get $5,000 a month, and almost $10,000 a month in food stamps. That's 6 figures times 12. That's 6 figures. You know she wasn't spending that many food stamps. She was $9,000 some dollars worth of food stamps. You selling most of those food stamps. Now I don't like speculating a lot, but I can speculate on that. Just think about yourself. You getting almost $10,000 worth of food stamp. You know you're not gonna buy no $10,000 worth of food in a month. I wouldn't. You changing hands, one hand, Now I go. Somebody get 500 a month and doing it. I know what happened. You getting 10,000, and she was doing it for 13 years. She got over $1 million, and that's just talking about food stamps. It wasn't talking about the cash benefits. That was just food stamps. And the Section 8. And could you imagine if that was a black woman? That Reagan lied, talking about the black woman pulling up to the welfare office in a Cadillac. But at least see one thing about it, it's the president of the United States was saying that some of the people at the desk in the office would say, "Oh, Mr. President, that's just a stereotype." But he believed, and a lot of people still believe that. But you know that most of the white people who were on food stamps and getting all that money, they were middle class and upper middle class people. And those are welfare queens and kings there. Even the white men was exploiting the system. But I want you to see this white man. The white men got in on it too.
Trump has cut my food stamps from $2,800 down to $350. Now, what am I supposed to do? Huh? So I literally just got this piece of mail today saying that due to new policy changes from the Trump administration, all this shit, whatever, that all these cuts and whatever he's doing over there. Now they're telling me I have to go work. Now I have to go do all this. Well, I literally got 5 kids. Okay. I'm trying to sit here and spend time with them. I'm not trying to go work, 50, 60 hours a week so I can pay bills. I just really don't understand. I voted for him this last election because I thought what he had good was going on, but now all of a sudden, all this policy stuff's coming out, and now he's making all these cuts, and now he doesn't want to help the less fortunate people no more. I'm done with that guy. I'm not. If he gets voted in again, I'm leaving this country. Because I'm not dealing with this no more.
You know the worst part about it? Like I said before, this thing out there was a straight face. You would think that was a joke. I don't know if it's made up or not. I don't know if this is. Like I said, they don't check it behind our stuff to see if it's real or not. Well, I'm not going to check it behind theirs. But I believe it. They actually think they're entitled. They do. They think they're entitled. Let me put that back. Hold on, I did the wrong thing. I thought I took that off. Yeah, they think they're entitled. Black people got welfare, food stamps because they needed it. A lot of these people really didn't need it. They made a life off of it. They tried to make it seem like though they was doing so well and we were doing so bad. And most of their numbers was greatly reduced. The numbers that they was given, now everything's coming out. That there's even a greater number of white people on welfare, most of the people, and they're in red states. And they got a hard time coming. See, I just think on Project 2025 last night. When I read Project 2025, I read it back before Trump was even elected. The one thing I noticed about it, say, all this stuff is already being done to us. This is going to hurt them more than us. This isn't a reconstruction. It's a reconstruction for them. This stuff always being done to us. Like the Latinos, you're next. No. We've been going through for 400 years. They had just a few months. And they crying like a little, you know what? Starts with a B, but I just don't want to say it. We didn't cry. We made do. They think they're entitled. That's what it was called when they were getting it. I showed you the one with a white woman. She even told what it wasn't meant for black people. But back when it first started and white people was only getting it, it was called entitlement. It wasn't called welfare until after black people started getting it. Well, I said, whatever we can get, let's get it. Any kind of benefit we can get, let's get. They owe us. They don't owe them people, they owe us. They didn't give us our 4 acres and a mule. We didn't get our reparations. We didn't get none of it. Those is our ancestors, so we deserve what our ancestors should have gotten. Because that generational wealth that our ancestors didn't get is hurting us right now. So yeah, we're entitled to it. Now, no black woman feel bad if she got to get on with it. Get every penny you can get. And you can find something you don't supposed to get. If you can get away with it, get that too. You see what these people are doing? They're really exploiting the system. Men and women. They got welfare kings, not just queens. We never had no welfare queens. That was just a lie. There's never been a black welfare queen. That was just a lie. They found one woman who was getting a lot of food and wasn't getting as much as this woman was getting. And they were real welfare queens. So when they come into the aid office in Cadillacs, the people dropping them off. And even if they were, there's some people who had jobs and got to the place where they need help. What do you think they're going to do? Sell everything they had because they need some temporary help? And most of them didn't stay on all their lives. This woman on 13 years and plan on, well, I guess if you're getting close to 10,000 just in food stamps alone, you plan on being on the rest of your life. You don't have to work. Spend some, sell some, and then she getting cash benefits. Section 8. This woman living like a queen. That is a welfare queen. She's not the only one. I got others on there I can show you. Yet you talk about a black woman who may get $500 a month in food stamps or less. I didn't know they give people close to $10,000 in food. The white guy said he's getting 4,000 something. That's a lot of food. You know them people not eating up that kind of food. Selling some of that stuff. Watch, I want you to play this one again. So it'll be on you fresh.
So I posted about white folks on food stamps, and one thing I kept seeing was that welfare was created for white people. I knew that it was created during the New Deal, so I did some more research because I didn't really know the whole story, and I thank you guys for responding and helping me learn stuff. During the Great Depression is when we saw the beginning of things like Social Security, unemployment insurance. But here's the kicker. When Franklin Roosevelt built those programs, he had to make deals with Southern Democrats in Congress, the same folks who were big fans of Jim Crow, to get the support of these racist white Southern politicians. The programs were designed to exclude farm workers, domestic workers, jobs held overwhelmingly by Black, Latino, and Indigenous people. So right from the start, Black and brown families were pushed out of benefits so that white people could get them. Then we move forward to the 1960s, and there's this war on poverty. It finally opened up welfare programs more broadly, and that's when food stamps became permanent. Well, permanent, we don't know what Trump's going to do to them, but they lasted a long time. And guess what? The minute more Black and brown families started accessing this help, the politics shifted. Welfare got a new image and a new target. By the 1980s and 90s, with Ronald Reagan and his gang, they pushed the welfare queen myth. That's a racist dog whistle meant to turn public opinion against safety nets by blaming Black women for poverty that white policies created. That's the truth, you guys. So yes, welfare was built for white people, and when others finally got in the door, they tried to burn the house down. If you want to blame the right people, you got to get curious.
You see there? I rub my eyes before I came out with some stuff on my face is getting my eyes, burning my eyes. But put too much on, so my face wouldn't shine all in these lights. But yeah, but see, nothing was ever made to benefit us. We always got in on the tail end. Then it was vilified once Black people get in on it. But the difference is white men play in the system. I ain't heard about no Black welfare kings. Oh, this stuff is really burning my eyes. Oh man, put my glasses on. But look, yeah, they really. I'm gonna play another video. I have to go get my glasses. My eyes are burning. Wash my eyes off. Let me play this other video where the people They're marching to my we white. We deserve food stamps. Watch this real quick.
White folks are waking up this morning to the news that their food stamps did not arrive and that Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving dinner would not be covered by the U.S. government. They thought that he was talking about them whenever he was talking about cutting food stamps. But they wake up this morning and find out that they are very much a part of the whim. They're them. They thought they were entitled. Donald Trump doesn't work that way. He work on the have and the have-not.
We are coming to you live tonight as anger builds across the country. Millions of Americans are finding out their food stamp benefits for November have been canceled. The abrupt move.
Okay, I'm back. I had to go flush my eyes. I put this stuff on my face when me shining in the light and start running down in my eyes. Okay, but yeah, you see, they think they're entitled. Are they forgetting all the stuff they said about black women and welfare? Because let's face it, when they was talking about welfare, they was aiming it at black women. Because see, black men really couldn't get it. Because see, the black people was for women, infants, and children. But with white people, it's for all of them. So they can't talk about us. They're the kings and queens. But they've always tried to vilify us. They're like, we was doing everything wrong. We weren't doing anything right. Any program that benefited us, they made it seem like it was a program that wasn't needed. Not knowing that they was hurting their own. I was watching them the other day. They was asking the people about what they think about Obamacare. And the people were saying about how they hate Obamacare, but they said the Affordable Care Act, you know, they want the Affordable Care Act, they just don't want that Obamacare. Do you know those idiots don't realize that Affordable Care Act is Obamacare? Obamacare is just a slang name for it. But if you put a black man's face on it, it's no good. Without it, it's fine. Which they've been voting against themselves because they're hurting black people and hurting themselves. Same thing. It's like a person say, I like marijuana, but I don't like that weed. I don't like weed, but I like marijuana. Weed is just a slang name for marijuana. Obamacare is just a slang name for the Affordable Care Act. When you say Obamacare, they don't want it. When you say the Affordable Care Act, oh yeah, I love my Affordable Care Act. I just hate that Obamacare. These people are so diabolical, I tell you the truth. It's so diabolical. They would cut off their nose if they thought their face was black. And if they thought their nose was black, they'll cut it off to spite their face. Say, oh, all of them, I'm not sweating through them. I tell you, when they talk against us, they don't sweat through us. Come on, how many times you hear when they're talking about black people, you don't hear, what's all these good meaning white allies we got who come on and say, oh, you know, that all of them not like that. There's some good black people. You don't hear them saying that. They say the blacks are this and the blacks are that. They don't sweat through us. I'm talking about there's some good black people. I'm not sweating through them. Anybody else want to do it, they can do it. Because every black person out here, when they start talking about saying something about what white people doing, oh, you know, all of them like that. Let them say they're not. You see all on social media, they come on our posts talking against us. Do you hear any white people come on there straightening them out? But they'll come on and post that black people on, oh, we're all just one with race. We're the human race. Go tell your people that. You don't tell them that when they talk against us. Now you see all this stuff with these food stamps? There's going to be a lot of people back these white women up. Oh, they need to feed their children. You weren't saying that about the black women. Black kids got to eat too. I don't have nothing good to say about them. But you didn't have nothing good to say about black women when you was labeling them welfare queens and all of that. Now we find out who the real welfare queens and kings are. They even got kings. As a matter of fact, most of the people that was shown for fraud, I was reading about the people who's committing food stamp fraud. Most of them was white men, not white women. What those white men doing getting all those food stamps? Can he pull himself up by his own bootstraps? Do some hard work for a change? Now they're finding out. Most of the hard work in this nation is not done by white folks. They're scared of hard work. They had to come to the other side of the world to get some people to pick the cotton and other crops. And those people came here and showed them how and improve their agriculture, showed them how to smelt different iron ore. Because they were living in log cabins before the slaves came here and showed them that. Living in cabin houses. Everybody had to build the infrastructure, the White House, the plantation. Then when you need the railroad built, who you get to do that? The Chinese. When did you do some hard work? When black people stopped doing farm work, you wouldn't get the Mexicans and other immigrants to do it. When did you do some hard work? You don't start doing farm work with the inventive machinery. Then you sit on the machine and watch the Latinos or the black people work. Now the black people, when the black people stop working, you get the Latinos. And you see on that video where the lady said with the black and brown family, they won't worry about no black brown families. They didn't put a brown face on food stamps, they put a black face. You don't see them try to tear down some, except now with immigration, that's only because they can't do it to us. They didn't talk about a brown welfare queen. They labeled the welfare queen as a black woman. So don't bring me that brown. So let the brown folks speak for themselves. They're not our allies. They hate us. I live out in California around them. They hate us. I let them speak for themselves. I don't think people I speak for is black folks. I'm not speaking for no brown folks, no immigrants, no homosexuals. And so that's the Democrats' problem. They're throwing too much at people. They're trying to be everything for everybody. They go through a laundry list of people. Why don't you just say the marginalized people? We're trying to help everybody. Because when you turn a lot of people off at, when you put homosexuality on the same level as their race. Homosexual ain't got nothing to do with me being black. I was born black. Well, a lot of them say they was born that way. If they was, that's their problem. But somebody's sexual, what they do sexually, their sexual preference don't have nothing to do with our race. So I'm tired of them putting being a homosexual. And I don't say gay. That make it sound too good. I say homosexual. They have no business putting that on the same level as our race. They're not gay. Gay used to be colorful and happy. What they got to do with them? That was used to be the meaning of it. So they say gay to make it sound good. Then when you don't go for it, they call you homophobic to make you sound bad. I know they're gonna get mad at me. That's why I got my Roku channel coming. You can't do nothing to me with that. That's be mine. I shut back cable channel. I can see that WSL 984 on my thing there. That's my cable channel. I stopped doing it because a lot of people don't watch cable like they used to. But that's local. And it was costing me too much money and I couldn't afford to keep running it and people not watching it and not getting the the endorsements I used to get because people weren't watching it. I got Facebook. I got you. I'm on YouTube, and and I'm at Roku the first of the year, Roku channel. So I say what I want to say. They call me, oh, you anti-Semitic and all that. You hate Jews? No, I don't hate Jews. I hate the stuff they be doing. But what if I was anti-Semitic? I could be anti-Semitic if I want to be. I'm not, but I could be if I want to. The Jews don't like everybody. They persecute Christians over in Israel now. They persecute the black Hebrew Israelites over there. Look at what they're doing to the Palestinians. I don't have to like Jews in Israel if I don't want to. I'm not saying I don't. No, I don't like what they're doing. And people have to quit getting Israel secular government mixed up with them being Jews. There's two different entities. But I don't have to like neither one if I don't want to. Don't tell me who to like. Because you don't do nothing to white folks when they speak against, say something about Jews. You only do it with black people. You got all these white preachers talk bad about Jews. But all they do is talk about Farrakhan and what he said. And I agree with what Farrakhan said. They're going to ask me, do you repudiate Farrakhan? I said, do you repudiate Mel Gibson? Mel Gibson used to go around, I mean, still do go around Hollywood asking Jews, are you an Irvin Dodger? Like they dodged the Irvins in Germany at Auschwitz during World War II, where there was gas and Jews. He went to I know I told you before, I got to say it again. There was a Jewish cop stopped him for DUI. Oh, you just an effing Jew. Jews are responsible for all the wars, modern wars. He said he made the movie Passion of the Christ to show how Jews killed Jesus. He was a known Jew hater. You know when he said that about that cop, you know what the Anti-Defamation League said? And the Jewish Defense League? Oh, we know Mel didn't mean it. Reverend Jim Jeffries, he always preaches about how all Jews going to hell. When they opened the embassy in Jerusalem a few years ago, he gave the opening prayer. What was the anti-Semitic talk with him? The rabbi who said all Africans are animals, he gave the closing prayer. What was the anti-black with him? You got all type of white people who speak against Jews. Nothing said. But as soon as a black person says something, they got to get on their knees and beg for forgiveness and still don't get forgiven. I wouldn't beg for nothing. If I said it, I said it. Before I take it back, I add more to it. I don't have to like what Jews are doing. And you want to call me anti-Semitic? I don't care what you call me. Because I said what I said, and I don't take a word of it back. The Jews are doing some horrific things in the name of Judaism. That's what Farrakhan was talking about. He was talking about the horrific things they're doing in the name of Judaism. And he was telling the truth. And he told it mild. I'll tell it worse than that. I can go into it. He didn't go into it. I can prove what they're doing in the name of Judaism. If you think that's anti-Semitic, then the hell with you. I say what I want to say. Look, Whoopi Goldberg said, Hitler didn't kill the Jews because they were white. He was killing them because they were Jews. Isn't that what everybody been saying all the time? You know she had to beg them for forgiveness to keep her job. Dave Chappelle, he didn't buckle though. Look at all the contracts they took from Kanye West. That's what he said. I don't work for nobody. You're not taking nothing from me. And if you do, I just get on something else. Now I don't like what the Jews are doing. I don't like what Israel is doing. If you call that anti-Semitic, you can call it whatever you want to call it. And tell Netanyahu I said so. Okay, back to my subject. I kind of lost it there for a minute. Now I get tired of this stuff. They always want to hold black people to task on something, but don't hold other folks to task on it. And don't let them fool you. All these old brown stuff, they don't give a damn about them brown folks. Them brown folks used to be the darling, them Hispanics and them was the darling race. Honorary whites when they was helping them against us. Do you know George Zimmerman, who killed Trayvon Martin, was Hispanic? But you notice when it was him against killing a black kid, he was treated like an honorary white. You just thought he was a white man the way they treated him, let him get away with killing that boy. But then my son, he'd be 10 toes up if the law didn't do something about it. I said something like that before, but I did kind of take it too far. And, his Trayvon Martin, not Trayvon Martin father, he texted me, this was a few years ago. He was a little upset with me, but I told him why he was upset, but I didn't apologize because everything I said was true. But we're still friends, though. Because I let him know, well, I was your son. And this man, do you know Trayvon, I know I'm off subject, but you know that George Zimmerman takes the first year after he had killed Trayvon Martin, gonna get on Messenger and text Trayvon Martin talking about you should have raised your son better. I'd have to do something about that. But look, let's see who should have raised his son better. Their son, Trayvon Martin used to do his summer camps at NASA. They didn't show you that though, did they? How they should have raised their son better when he was walking home from the store with some tea and some Twitter, some tea and what's that he had a can and some candy he had. Going back home to watch a basketball game. But yet, his mother's son, unalive, a teenage boy, because he was losing the fight he started. Talking about he's standing his ground on the fight that he started. So how is it Trayvon Martin's mother should have raised her son better? Now his mother should have raised him better. But see, y'all, with black folks, we need to stop trying to be these people buddies, though. We get on this, that ain't right. The hell with what's right and wrong. They know it's not right. That's why they said it. It's not. They try to call us the N-word. They know black people don't even care no more. We laugh at them when they say, you've been saying it for 400 years. Can you come up with something new? All this stuff they've been saying about us, they've been saying it for 400 years. Don't be acting upset when they say the N-word. Laugh at them. Say, you're an N-word. Well, I had a white guy call me. I said, you're a white N-word. When you do that, they don't know what to say. I said, I'm only an N-word using N-word. They don't know what to say. I don't act upset. It don't make me upset because I know I'm not one. If I was one, people get upset when you call them what they are. You're not no N-word. Don't be worried about what they call you. Call them one back. Move on. Yeah, but I had to come on and say that about the food stamp because I've been talking longer than I meant to. Yeah, they've been coming on at black people all this time. All black people all on welfare. Black people committing crime, finding out the stats not as bad as they think, as they say. Because I told you this before, but I'm going to say it again. Say it in another broadcast. Do you know how the FBI compile crime stats? Not through actual crime or charges, but through arrest. They can pick you up, take you down to the police station, raise you, let you go. It goes down in the crime stats. Who are the most arrested? Black people. See, with black people, if something happens, they don't even, you notice how they don't even want to let the black person explain what happened. They take them down to the police station, arrest them, investigate. If one be, let go. When they let you go, that goes down in the crime stats. White people. How many times you seen a white man, black folks say, oh, if he was black, they'd be arresting him by now. What they do with white people, they let them go, investigate, if one be arrested. So who gonna have the highest crime stat? And you know what they also do? And if you can look this up yourself in the crime stat, you can even Google it. The FBI crime stats. It says that most of the black men, I can't say black men, but black people who are arrested are exonerated. They let go. But most of the white people who are arrested are not. You know why? They investigated before they picked them up. You say, oh, more black people in prison. It's always been more black people in prison because you know why? Slavery's not over in this country. You know what it says? It says a person can still be enslaved if they commit a crime. Prisons has been like a slave camp where they, you notice how they get them to do work, 10 cents a day. Then, but because see black people used to get arrested. If a white person slapped you, you just left them back. You went to prison. Even during Jim Crow, you know, much of the time, a black person couldn't testify in court against a white person. So if a white person accused him of something, the black people, the person couldn't even testify on their own behalf. Okay, they say there's crime in areas where black people live in large cities. You want to know why that's like that? Black people don't live all over this nation. We live congested in metropolitan areas. We live in large cities and surrounding it. If you notice, in those small towns surrounding those metropolitan areas, and in much of the cities, that's all in crime. Crime is in pockets. St. Louis is still the number one city, crime city. It's in pockets. It's not all over. There's certain parts of St. Louis that's, in black St. Louis, that's crime free. You notice when black people start making money, they commit very little crime. White people can make money and still commit crime. Okay, you know what? Okay, back to what I was saying. Black people live in large metropolitan areas. I could drive from St. Louis to Chicago. Don't see another black person until I get to Chicago. There's a few in Springfield, Bloomington, but not that many. Okay, but most of the state's population in the Chicago area, and most of the black people living there, which is also in the news network where you get more, you'll hear more on the news. Let's say there's over the weekend there's 25 unalivings, and all over Illinois. Well, you may not hear about it, but on some local radio station. But there's 5 unalivings in Chicago. Which ones are you going to hear about? Those in Chicago. Because it's congested. You're not going to hear about those all over the state. They're not in the news if they mostly rural areas. And it's going to be on those little hit TV and radio stations. So like they're talking about starting their own little fight town, go ahead. You know what they're talking about doing? We don't want no blacks allowed. They're going to live in cabins and raise goats and all that. You think we want to do that? Come there and do that? Most of you already live in all white towns. Like I said, black people just live in certain areas of this country. Most white people live in all white towns. But you know the white people who hate the black people the most is the one who won't even be around any black people. Stay where you at. Build all the white towns you want to. We need to do it too. But every time we tried, they burnt it down. When we started prospering too much, they ruined it. They burnt it down. Killed the people there. It was sanctioned by the government because the law enforcement helped. But see, we don't want to come. They say they still have some sundown town. Most black people don't even know where they're at because they don't go there anyway. Most of them be some little back corner place that most white folks don't even want to go to. It's so terrible that black people wouldn't be caught there in the daytime, let alone after sundown. Don't come to them anyway. You know, the ones who talk that stuff about us be the ones we don't even go around. That's why I had to tell some white folks, say, look, you don't have trouble. White people come around black areas all the time with no problem. The problem is when black people go in white areas. They got these old bums. There's this shelter down the street with all these old white bums in this town. White woman getting behind bushes, dookie right out there where everybody can see her. They're walking around, drinking. Now that scum can come in our area and be safe. But with black people, look, I've seen where they stop the FedEx man, the police. So you don't have to worry about people. We got to worry about the police too. When we go in your areas. The FedEx man in the FedEx truck delivering a package. The police gonna stop him, asking what he's doing. FedEx truck, uniform, package. Now what the hell he think he doing? And a white woman said, yeah, they said you talk about race too much. Now I don't talk about it enough. They said some white women say, yeah, our car stopping the, it's not the first time I heard it. Stopping the black area, they were so nice. They helped us get out of the car started. And one of them told me that one time, and I told her, say, look, black people do that for white folks. When my car stops in your area, I get the police called on me, and you probably the one who called them. Oh, I wouldn't do that. I told you I was this before. I was riding the scooters, and I had a friend of mine on the back, and the belt broke. You know, they have a belt drive. I know that. I always kept a spare belt at the tools to change it with in the trunk of the moped. But it was a big one. And the white guy is in front of his house. He came out talking to me, all nice. She said he was nice. I said, he going there to call the police. Oh, you always think somebody trying to do something bad or something. You always talking against people. I didn't say nothing else. About 5 minutes, here come the police. He sat there, watched for about 5 minutes, watched me, see what I was doing. I guess he ran the plate on the scooter. Then he just took on off. I said, what I tell you? I've been around too long. I know how this stuff goes. And that's why I say we got to help our own, quit talking against our own, because a lot of the stuff they say about us, we say it too. Because we were raised in a white supremacy ideology, a white superior, black inferior. We were raised in that same ideology that the white folks was raised in. So we got sometimes I have to catch myself sometimes. And I know better. Because we've been raised in that same ideology. When you see on social media when black people misbehaving, you hear black people saying, oh, well, we go again. We what? When white folks do it, they don't say nothing about their race. White folks fight. They talk about the fight. They don't talk about their race. And you have black folks saying, we're not doing this because we black. We're doing it because we're human. Everyone does it. Have you been to those white soccer games those kids have in the park? They fight every week. Soccer game, hockey games. And it be the parents coming out there trying to beat up little kids. Fighting the referee. One guy he got arrested. He gonna pull a pistol on the other coaches. One of the parents. And see, and then, I'm gonna do something tomorrow about. I hadn't done anything about this. I know I done got off subject. Just so long as you can talk about one thing by yourself. Now, if I had a panel, I'll stick more on point. But look, this Kamala Anthony, the black boy who's charged with unaliving a white guy when they tried to jump on him at a game. I've been looking into that case. I didn't want to say anything or do anything on it until I really checked it out. But they don't tell you about how one of the white guy's friend got in touch with Kamala Anthony and apologized to him. It's really more to it than they're saying, which it usually is. Did you know that folks was angry because he was able to make bail? But they same people would help George Zimmerman make bail, or Darren Wilson, who unalived Michael Brown. But black folks put in money to help this boy make bail. And they on there talking, the folks on there talking about, oh, his mama using to buy a car, buy a house. They hadn't even gotten none of that money yet. It's a certain time they can get it and a certain way they have to spend it. But they had no problems with the white woman getting over $1 million or close to it because of a little autistic black boy, 5-year-old autistic black boy, the N-word. Yet they sent her close to, if not over, $1 million. Don't tell us what to do with our home. You check yours. Quit trying to check ours. We do what we want to do, just like you doing what you want to do. I'm tired of black folks explaining ourselves to white folks or to anybody. They don't explain themselves to us. If you notice, they never explain nothing about themselves. It's like it is what it is. That's the way we need to be. We don't have to explain what we do to them. If we want to give GoFundMe to one of ours, we give it to them. They give more in GoFundMe to white people who have unalived folks, black folks, than we give to the victim family or to their legal defense. And they want to check us? No, check yourselves. We give to who we want to give. We do what we want to do with our people. We don't need you to tell us what to do. But we see now you're some misfits, but you've been hiding it. You've been hiding the crime stats. You've been lying about that. Now some of your own bringing it out. Because Trump made them mad. I saw you where the Asian woman admitted. Well, when she go, when these foreigners come in our neighborhoods and open up businesses and our people don't. Now people had to just about give their businesses up or can't open one. This Asian woman admitted. I think was it yesterday or the day before I played. When she admitted when they go to get loans, they tell them the white people don't want you in their neighborhoods because they don't want you making money off them. So if you're going to open a business, the only way you get the loans, you have to open it in the black area. That's what they tell those foreigners. And that's how they're not there because they like us. They're there because that's the only place they can open a business. Our city leaders need to deal with that, especially in our black city. You need to deal with that. That way the money don't ever exchange hands. It goes straight out of our community as soon as you spend it. We're not broke people. Our money is just not spent right. If black people was a nation, we'd be something like the 14th richest nation in the world. But our money isn't spent right. As soon as we spend it with some foreigner. They take right of our neighborhood, don't turn over. I heard one thing where one white man said, black Americans are the richest. Some of the richest black people live here in the United States. So slavery wasn't so bad. Who the hell do you think he is to tell us about us? Everybody don't measure quality of life the way they do here. Just like you have some of the richest, we got some of the poorest people here. If we wasn't here, we wouldn't be measuring quality of life like that. Everybody don't look at how much money they got. You got people in this country who living good off of $50,000, $60,000 a year. Better than many millionaires because they don't have that worry you got. But to most people, you think they would suffer. Everybody don't measure quality of life the same way. Why I need $1 billion to end up in the bank for? I think of Barack Obama who said about, since he wrote books and all and did some documentaries for Netflix and that make $3 million off of it. He said it's just so many cars you can drive, just so many houses you can live in. Most of these billionaires, they got if they got money that their children, great grandchildren, further down the line will never spend. Unless they get somebody like Trump and that he might blow it all. Who blows $400 million a day to give him? The only way he can make money is to bankrupt stuff and run off with the bankruptcy money. Bankrupt a casino where the house always wins. He had to be trying to do that. But look, they are. So that's why they tell me, "Oh, you hate white folks." I'm not saying I hate. I got some white friends, but if I want to hate white folks, I can hate them. You know what? When white folks talk about black folks, you don't worry about if they hate black people or not. I have to watch out, keep an eye on my white folks. Supposed to be my friends. I'm not saying I hate them. I'm not saying I don't. But if I want to, I can. Can't tell me who to like or who to hate. I'm not saying I do. I'm saying if I want to, I can. You don't tell white people who they can and can't hate. The only people who are told who they can and can't hate, who they have to like and not like, is black people. And I'm going to tell you again, don't worry about these brown face. They're not trying to stop the browning of America. They didn't want the blackening of America. That's what they really didn't want. After that black man became president, they went crazy. Hey, we're losing our status. We're not making babies. That's the reason they stopped abortion. They weren't aimed at no black women. They weren't trying to tell women what to do with their bodies. They're trying to tell you what to do with their fetus. If you do everything else you want to do with your body, don't nobody say nothing. Just get the wording right. They wanted to stop black women. I mean, not black women, white women from aborting babies. But what they didn't know, they were stopping black women too, because black women in that time period, had aborted 28 million babies. That's why our population didn't increase. But see, the thing about it, though, is I'm not against Roe versus Wade. If a woman wanted an abortion, well, the man really never say so in it anyway. I think a lot of them was relieved anyway. But because you didn't find many married women having abortions. Not black married women, yes, white married women. But that's what they was really for. White women weren't having babies. But even with the 28 million, black women were still out producing them in babies. So don't ever think, they try to make you think abortion, black women ruined abortion. No, they didn't. They was having too many late-time pregnancies. And because they found out they didn't want that man's baby, no, black women was having late-term abortions because of the discrimination in the medical system. They found that they was pregnant at a later rate. And also, they found out that, there was problems with the pregnancy at a more later. So black women had nothing to do with Roe versus Wade being overturned. But they try to blame everything on them, anything on women issues. Try to blame it out on black women. They was using it for abortion. So was they was using it for birth control. You think they were the only ones? Look, I had an older relative of mine. He went to school. He was one of the few black people in his school. And he said that while he was at the school, he said even before black women even knew anything about abortion. So those white girls at that school was getting abortions left and right. So one girl when he was about the time she had graduated high school, she had 4 abortions. I guess she had one for freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year. Wow, it is. But look, most of this stuff that happened is not black folks' fault. Welfare is not black women and not a black woman thing. Abortion wasn't just a black woman thing. Because those are things that they try to pin on our women, and they were lying. And they were lying on black women. And let me tell you something. These old fight videos, you see they got all these black women out there. A lot of those are bots. And a lot of them not even made in this country. Oh, some of them are real now, and black women putting them up. But you know, you go to them white pages, they fight just as much. Have you ever seen a white neighborhood? The neighbors can't even get along, calling the police on each other. I know I'm off subject, I was talking about food stamp, but see, I was talking about the food stamps, the disparities in it. But there's disparities across the board. They try to make us out to be some degenerates, some Neanderthals, some low-level people, like we walking around with our knuckles dragging. We find out that it's them. All the stuff they said about us has came back on them. And I don't feel sorry for them. But I'm not going to hold. Well, I done held you long enough. I meant to stay on just a half hour. But I thank you for tuning in. But, you know, I had to get that out because, you know, we've been vilified a long time. They talked about this black welfare queen stuff for a long time. Now we find out who the welfare queens and kings are. At least we didn't have no black welfare kings. They got queens and kings, and the kings are outdoing the queens. Man, I ain't never seen. When have you seen them? What black man was crying about some food stamps? The white men are. Even black women, they don't cry about food stamps. I'm seeing all white women doing it. I'm not seeing what black women crying about food stamps. They don't make it one way, they'll make it another. They find a way. Always have. Always will. I hate we have to keep going up and down, back and forward like that, but when you don't control the system, you know, what can you do? So I hope this madman help them get out of office, get them women, them 300,000 black women lost their jobs so they can get their jobs back. Oh, I know they were seen as a double minority and got a lot of jobs for the government and dangled it in black men's face, but still, I want them to get their jobs back. I don't want, we got to stop doing things to each other out of spite. Well, I don't care if they get it back, I do care if they get them back or not. And more added to it. Because see, black men never really got government jobs because the black women were seen as a double minority. And they got most of the jobs. Well, so neither one of us got it. Black men usually get private sector jobs. And the jobs men get paid more, so men don't have to get degrees like women do, you know, to make a good salary. Or take home pretty good money. So that's why a lot of women have to get degrees and men don't. The men can also go to trade school. But you know, we need to stop making this a competition thing with us. No women out, black men still out there earning. Women, the black women, even with their degrees, you know, totally. Because all black women don't have degrees. But no women on earth out earn their men, including with black people. But let's not make this everything a contest between black men and women. Because the same people who hate black men hate black women. The same people who hate black women hate black men. And when they come, they're not coming for a certain gender. They're coming for us both. And we're going to have each other's back when they do. I don't care if I had a Chinese woman when they come out, I just say, see you later, Ming Lu. I gotta go help my people. And we gotta have each other's back. We got to, because they're not done with us. Trump really won us. They don't care nothing about them brown people. Just that they're trying to keep a white majority. They're getting rid of them because they can't get rid of us. But they're trying to find other ways. And let's not give it to them. Let's stay home. Leave all this protesting to the brown folks, the people of color. They used to use them against us. Now we can use them against them. Let them get them and leave us alone. Yeah, but I'm gonna let you go because I've been talking too long. I'm beginning to get a little sleepy now. It's getting late. 11:57 p.m. I don't know where everybody else is, but I'm in the Midwest and Central Time. It's 11:57 here. But I thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and I know I get off subject a lot, but it's just me talking. A lot of times I say things that comes to my mind because I don't have a panel. I need to start getting my panel in. I invite people to come on. They say they come and they don't come because you have to have your facts together. Because I know what I'm talking about. Come on the panel with me. You got to have your facts. There's some people came on and didn't have their facts together. I don't talk out of feelings. I talk out of facts, and I know what I'm talking about. I can show it to you and back it up. So when I play these videos about these people talking something like that, I'm not backing up nothing. Because when they show stuff like that about us, they don't back it up. I'm not sweating through them like that. They don't sweat through us. And they say, and all this hate that's been texting me about, how is selling facts hating? I'm not talking about how I feel about these people. I'm saying stuff they actually done. Excuse me. That's just like saying history books are hating. Statistics are hating. Well, the history books are hating. They found the good stuff about black folks out. Yes, so that is hating. But look, I'm gonna let you go. Now, I gotta see what's on the news tomorrow. You know, the mainstream news, it's hard to get anything from that. They all scared of Trump. You have to actually scour and look around just to find the real news. Sometimes you even have to use some out of the country news sources. They are running scared of Trump. Yeah. Oh, and like I was saying, let me say this before I go. They also say about me, like Charlie Kirk, talking about they hope something happened to me and threatened me. Because I said I didn't care about Charlie Kirk or his family. I didn't. Because they don't, when things happen to black people, they don't care about it. They don't care about the black folks' family, their wife and children, or their husband and children, or whoever. Do they care about Breonna Taylor's family, Sandra Bland's family, Tamir Rice's family, Michael Brown's family, Martin Luther King's family, all the hateful stuff they said? They said Charlie Kirk studies thing has to be put in every school. Now I know they're not talking about black school. They're talking about how he was a great debater. You know who he debated? Kids on college campuses. Next time I come, I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna do with you about that. It's this one black girl on the college campus. See, they won't show this one much. I better get it before they take it down. She was maybe 18, 19 years old. She took Charlie Kirk to school. Yeah, but they won't play that one much. He wouldn't debate no learned people. A lot of the stuff he said was stuff he couldn't back up. That I can prove. I wish I could have debated him. I could have proved it wrong. I'd have mopped the floor with him. But this girl did. You just saw how frustrated he was getting. See, he's used to talking to people who go along with him or don't know what they're talking about. And what though many of the black people he debated was young black people who trying to more appease him to my, oh, you shouldn't think like that. No, you hit a person like that back with facts to show him where he's lying. You don't try to prick his conscience. He don't have no conscience. Black people have to quit trying to appeal to these people's conscience. They don't have no conscience. They know the stuff they say are the lies. They counted on you not knowing his lies. I've been kicked out, but I just be on some panels sometimes. They wouldn't even bring me back because I would bring out the lies even the black folks was saying. And especially the black conservative, I liked getting them. I wish I could find most of the ones I was on old tapes with the cable channel, and I wish I had those because even some of the Afrocentric people, I had a few words with them too. You know, they don't take this agreement very well, but you have. I said this to make a point. You have to know what you're talking about when you go talk to these people. That's why they did that to me. Like I see them doing people on TV talking about after they can't get you, they bring up Farrakhan, trying to throw Farrakhan at you. I showed them, like I showed you how all the white folks have said stuff about Jews. Then later, after I showed them how the white folks, I say I agree with Farrakhan. My Minister Farrakhan, I give him his title. I agree with everything he said. Matter of fact, he didn't go into it far enough. I would have added more to it. That's why I say, when I know when I'm telling the truth, telling facts, I'm not apologizing for nothing. That's why I like to create my own job and don't work for other people. I'm not getting on my knees begging anyone for forgiveness. If I said it, I meant it. That's why I rarely, if I bump into you by mistake or something like that, I apologize. Because that was a mistake. Why should I apologize for something that wasn't a mistake, something I meant and I know it's true? That's why I tell you, like when I said that about Tracy Martin, Tremont Martin's father, I didn't apologize because what I said was true. I told him, I hate the fact that it caused him discomfort. I didn't take back what I said because it was true. I should have said it on a different format. I told him that, but no. What I said was true. And why should you apologize for telling the truth? I'm not going to do that. And that's why I say, just like tonight, I'm going to get some stuff, they're going to report me and all that for stuff I said about the Jews. But I didn't say nothing against the Jews. I said some facts against them. Show me where I lied. I can show you what they lied. But I better leave it at that. I didn't get on me enough about that. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. It's getting late. It's after midnight. It's 12:05 here. I want to thank you all for tuning in and tune in again. I appreciate it. Hit the like button sometimes and let me know you're there. That don't cost you nothing. So thanks for tuning in. It's No More Water Fire next time. My name is Larry Duncan Allen. And I